Berta, it broke my heart to lose you.
You're the only family I've ever known. You, Georgie, Miss
Berta,
and
please, let's both try and be calm about it, because we know it's the right thing. Georgie needs you here.
But with Miss Rita so sick, and you having to get the new girl up to speed, I was...
Oh, man.
No! It's just this big new house. Mrs. Georgie's new wife.
Well, it might not be easy at first, but Berta...
No, she is so... I mean, she's so
exciting for you. General Gabler's daughter. Think what life with him was like.
Never seen her riding with him. Those riding outfits. Who would have thought that her and Georgie?
Oh, Berta, you mustn't call him Georgie anymore.
It's Dr. Tessman now. Doctor. She said that last night, just as soon as she walked in the room.
Isn't it wonderful? They made him a doctor in Germany. I only found out last night.
Well, I always knew he could do whatever he wanted to, but I never thought it would be medicine.
No, Berta. Not that kind of doctor. But he might have another, more important title soon.
What is that, miss?
Wouldn't you like to know? Oh, Berta, if only my dear brother could have lived to see all... Berta, you've taken the covers off the furniture?
She doesn't like covers on furniture.
But this is why I need you here.
No, he was there. He agreed. She's very insistent.
He obviously doesn't understand.
He.
Georgie!
Auntie,
Georgie!
Dear Auntie Jude, all the way out here. And so early in the morning, how wonderful.
I had to see how you were doing, dear.
Oh, but you couldn't have gotten much sleep, Auntie.
Oh, I don't. Who cares about that?
You got home safely?
It was all fine. The judge saw me right to my door.
Yeah, I'm sorry we couldn't give you a ride, but you saw how much luggage Hedda had.
Yes, amazing. All that luggage.
Should I go see if I can help Mrs. Tessman?
Oh, no, thanks for that. I wouldn't bother her just yet. If she needs you, I'm sure she'll bring you.
All right.
But you could take this with you.
I'll put it in the storage room.
Thank you. That suitcase was full of books, rare primary sources, and there are 2 others I haven't unpacked yet. And that's aside from all the libraries we visited. I got so much of the groundwork done for my next book. It was terrific, very productive.
So in other words, you didn't waste any time on your honeymoon,
Just a
did you?
second. Please, let me take your things.
It's like you were still at home with us, dear.
That's right. Oh, what a pretty little purse you got yourself.
Well, yes, because of Hedda.
Hedda, what do you mean?
So she wouldn't be ashamed of me if we were seen out shopping together.
You think of everything, don't you, Auntie?
Georgie, I can't tell you. Oh, I feel so safe now. It is so good to have you home. Look at you, look at you.
Well, it's good to be home. You're my family, Auntie Juju. You, Auntie Rena, and Berta.
I know you'll go on caring for us. Even, well...
She's no better.
I just hope she lasts longer. I don't know what I'd do without her now I haven't got you to look after.
You'll always have me.
No, Georgie, you have a wife now. Hedda Gabler. And she had so many admirers.
But there are quite a few men who'd like to be me. I lie in bed thinking sometimes, you know.
And then you had a 5, almost 6-month honeymoon.
Well, I was studying and doing research, and I had a lot of reading to do.
But do you have any news?
From the trip.
Yes.
I've told you everything. I got my doctorate, but I told you that last night.
I mean, news.
News.
Oh, Georgie, I'm your aunt. News of the future.
Yes, of course I do.
And?
Well, I could become a professor.
Yes, but Georgie...
Well, you know that, Auntie. It's pretty well certain.
Yes, of course, but... Well... It must have cost so much.
Oh, the honeymoon, well, my fellowship helped a lot.
For the 2 of you? I don't know how you made that last.
Don't know how either.
With such a young lady.
Had to have the trip, Auntie. She just had to. It would have been it all not to do it for her.
Well, I suppose it is the thing to do nowadays, isn't it? And have you had a chance to look around the house?
I was up at the crack of dawn.
And what do you think?
It's terrific. It's so wonderful, but I've no idea what we're going to do with the extra rooms.
Oh, you'll find a use.
Oh, my library.
Oh, yes, of course, Georgie, for your library. I imagine Hedda's thrilled.
It's a dream house. I mean, Hedda said she would never want to live anywhere else.
And it came up for sale so suddenly. But so expensive, Georgie.
You think so?
Lord, yes.
Oh, I know it is. I mean, dear, is it?
Oh, the bills haven't come in yet, dear.
Thank God Brock managed to negotiate such a great deal. He wrote to Hedda about it.
Don't worry, Well, as for your new furniture, I've been able to subsidize it.
Subsidize it.
Oh, my annuity from my trust.
From your trust fund, you and Auntie Rita.
It's a mortgage.
Are you crazy? You live on that. It's the only money you've got.
It's just a formality. The judge explained it all to me. Just
That's
a
fine, but
formality. You have your own salary for now. We wanted to help anyway.
You're always sacrificing yourself for me.
Georgie, what could make me happier than making you happy? You haven't always had the easiest life, but now you're there. You've made it.
Well, things do really seem to have worked out.
And those people who tried to make things difficult for you? Well, what goes around comes
Auntie,
around.
please.
No, Georgie, that man who was your rival, he's just lying in the dirt now. And it's what he deserves.
Have you heard anything of him recently?
He's supposed to have a new book out.
Island of Book.
I can't think it can be up to much. Now when your book comes out, that'll be something. What's the subject?
It'll be about life in the Providence. That's Holland. In Middle Ages, here we go. More specifically, the domestic industries, the craftsmen and such.
Imagine being able to write about such things.
Well, I've got a lot of cataloging and research to do before I start writing.
You're not my brother's son for nothing.
I can't wait to get going now that I'm in my own home.
With the girl of your dreams.
Best thing in my life. Hedda!
And here she is now, dear Hedda.
Miss Tessman, did you stay last night?
No.
Oh, then you must have been up with the milkman to get here this early.
I had to see how you'd settled in.
But we've only just arrived.
We've slept in this house. You slept. You were sleeping like a log when I got up, Hedda.
I lay down, Tessman, which is not the same thing. I mean, you can imagine, Miss Tessman, such a long trip.
I've never been traveling.
That maid throws open the windows and doesn't even think about the sun-baked furniture.
Let me just take care of
Oh,
it.
no, don't bother, please. Tessman, will you close the curtains for your aunt?
Yes,
I'm
fresh
sure
air,
that's
Auntie,
sounds
and
the
some
light. Yes, fresh air is very important, particularly in this bureau parlor. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Tessman, won't you sit down?
No, I'd better be heading home. Now that I'm sure everything is fine here, I have to get back to my dear patient.
Oh, send her my love. What I'll try and do, what we both might. I'll definitely get there later today.
Not if it's too much trouble, dear. Before I forget.
Oh, you found them, Hedda. Can you believe it? My slippers, look.
Slippers?
Oh, my good luck slippers. Remember I told you about them? I thought they disappeared forever.
That
I
was
missed them
at
so
dinners, wasn't it? Breakfast sometime if I was a good girl.
Oh, here they are.
No, I'd rather not.
Oh, come on. I've had these every night and morning for years. All day when I was studying or writing, and picture dear Auntie Rena lying in her sick bed embroidering them. They're full of memories, such fond
I
memories.
shudder to think.
Look.
Memories are very personal, Tessman.
Hedda's right, dear.
Yes, but she's part of the family now.
That damned maid!
Bertha?
Well, we'll be finding her underwear next.
I'm sorry.
Look, she's put her old purse down in my window seat.
Oh, what had to know?
Well, it's not mine, because I wouldn't be seen dead wearing this pile.
It's mine. And it isn't. It was very. Today was the first time I carried it.
I think it's very nice.
It's just a purse, Georgie.
Hedda, a new purse in honor of our wonderful new house. Hedda, darling.
It's beautiful.
Exactly like you, Hedda. Have you seen Auntie? Have you looked at her lately? Isn't she beautiful as well?
Oh, that's nothing new. She's been beautiful all her life.
No, but look closer. She's filled out.
Tessman,
Perhaps you can't see properly with the clothes on, but I have had the opportunity to.
You haven't had the opportunity for anything.
It's probably that Tyrolean mountain air that
Yes.
makes something's changed.
What's changed? What's changed? I'm exactly the same as when we left.
I think so.
What? What?
God bless and protect Hedda Tessman. For all our sake. I won't let a day go by without seeing the two of
Yes,
you.
please, Auntie.
Be good. Until tomorrow.
When you see her later today, ask her
these Hermosas.
No, she is not my aunt.
You're part of the family now.
Perhaps I upset her.
But
Well, about that console looks so stupid in here. It's completely out of place, ugly, clumsy, like some kind of... I can't stand it. It's September. The leaves are dying that yellow. Makes me think of old men.
we can exchange it once I start at the university.
No, I'm not getting rid of it. And besides, I've had to live with your damn slippers. We'll just put that one into my study, but we'll buy a new one for in here. Oh, well, these flowers weren't here last night.
Did it from Aunt Juliana?
I'll come later in the day. And guess who it's from?
No idea.
Come on, guess.
Who is it?
Mrs. Elvsted.
No, Mrs. Elvsted.
Yes, Mrs. Elvsted.
She used to be called Bruising.
I know Miss Rusing. Always showing off her hair. An old flame of yours.
Before I knew you, Hedda, for 5 minutes.
I only knew her in school. Why would she come see us?
I haven't seen her in a million years. She's stuck out in the middle of some back quarter.
Didn't Irish Movborg go there?
You did?
Ma'am, there's a Mrs. Commissioner Elvsted at the door.
Mrs. Commissioner Elvsted.
That's what she called it.
Well, send her in, Miss Maid Berta. Send her in. Well, this should do something. Mrs. Commissioner Elvsted, what fun!
Yes, it's been a long time.
Well, I'm Mrs. Doctor, and that is my husband, Mr. Doctor, or is that Doctor?
Hedda.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you. It's been far too long.
Thank you for the beautiful flowers.
Oh, don't mention it. You know, I wanted to see you yesterday, but I heard you were just getting back from a long trip.
Oh, when did you get to town?
Yesterday afternoon, and I was quite upset when I heard
Upset?
Why, Miss
Why?
Rusing? Mrs. Elvsted.
Is something wrong?
Yes, it is, you know, and I really have no one to turn to but you.
Then we should sit down
No,
and
I
talk.
can't sit.
Oh,
I'm
don't be
too
silly.
anxious.
Come sit down next to me.
All right.
What is it?
Is it something at home?
It is, yes, and it isn't. I'm sorry, I'm not making any
You
sense.
can tell us, Mrs. Elvsted.
After all, that's why you came, right?
Yes, I suppose it is. Well, you've probably heard that Ida Lufborg is here.
Here.
Really? Lufborg is back. I mean, did you hear that, Hedda?
Yes, of course I heard her. I'm sitting right here.
He's been here about a week now, and well, this town is so dangerous, so unhealthy for him.
Why does it matter to you?
He works for us. He's the children's tutor.
Your children?
No, my husband's.
Stepchildren.
Yes, that's right.
Was he stable enough, I suppose is the word, to teach
Oh,
children?
he has kept himself out of trouble.
Really? Extraordinary. I mean, did you hear that, Hedda?
Yes, I did.
He hasn't across people.
Coffee?
Yes, please.
Oh, thank you.
Berta?
But you know, being here in the city with money in his pocket, well, I'm afraid for him.
Well, why did he come down to
He
town?
just couldn't settle after his book came out.
I've just heard about the new one.
It's a really big book, a sort of survey of cultural history. It came out about 2 weeks ago, and it sold very well and been very well
I
received.
suppose it was something he had in the drawer.
From before, you mean?
Well, yes.
No. He wrote it when he was living with us all last year.
Amazing. Don't you think, Hedda?
Well, I just hope it will last.
Have you seen Eilert here?
No, I didn't have a way to contact him until this morning.
Don't you think it's a little odd? Well, a little odd for your husband to send you down here to keep an eye on his friend?
No, he doesn't have the time for that sort of thing, and I had to do some shopping.
Well, why not?
Mr. Tessman, I know that you and Eilert were close, so you understand how much support he needs. I just hope that if you
you do meet up with him, you would be so kind as to offer him a hand.
Of course. I'll do whatever I can for him,
Thank you
anything.
so much. My husband thinks the world of him.
Well, you should call him, Tessman. He might not come here without an invitation.
Yes, right,
Please
yes.
now.
Okay. You have his number.
Yes, it's right here.
Right. I'm going to do it just as soon as I find my damn slippers.
Tessman.
Oh, there they are.
Be warm and friendly, because he's probably quite delicate. Make it sound like an invitation to talk about our honeymoon and generally catch up.
Of course.
And please don't say anything about me asking.
I would dream of it now.
Two birds with one stone. What? Oh, we've got him out of the way.
To make the call?
No, to talk.
About what?
Well, about Ira.
Oh, there's nothing to say.
Oh, yes, there is. There's lots to say, so we should sit down.
No, I really should go.
No, you can tell me about everything.
I really don't want to.
But it's me. It's me. I mean, God, we went to school together.
Well, yes, but you were 2 years above me, and I was terrified of you. Yes, you used to pull my hair when I passed you on the stairs.
Did I?
Once you even said you'd burn it all off.
Well, that was a joke.
Oh, well, I took it seriously. Silly. You know, now, Mrs. Tessman, we live in two very different worlds.
Then let's take this opportunity to reconnect, because back then we were very close.
I don't remember ever being very close.
We were. And now we will be again, so please, no more Mrs. Tessman. It's Hedda.
That's very nice. I'm not used to people being so sweet to me.
And I'll call you Tora.
It's Taya.
Poor sweet Taya. There's not much for you, is there, at home?
I've never had a home.
Thought it might be something like that.
No, never.
You went as his housekeeper to Mr. Elspeth's?
No, I was his governess, actually, but then his wife got sick, and so I had to take care of the house as well, yes.
And he married you after she died. Nothing if not frugal.
He did. Yes, 5 years, the last 2 or 3, especially Mrs. Tessman.
Hedda.
I'm sorry, I am trying. Hedda, if you only knew.
Wasn't Ira Blueberg there for the last 3 years or so?
Not a uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he was, that's right.
And he visited you up
No,
there?
he taught.
Oh, of course not. And your husband, he was away a lot.
Well, he's the county commissioner, so he travels all over.
Taya.
What?
Taya, you can tell me everything.
Well, what do you want to know?
Well, what's your husband like? Is he kind?
You know, I think he thinks he's kind.
And he's 20 years older than you are, and that can't be easy.
Well, we really have nothing in common.
Does he love you at all?
I don't know. I'm useful to him. I'm cheap.
Yeah.
No, it's true. I don't know that he cares about anyone. I mean, maybe the children, maybe.
What about Island?
What about Island?
Well, here you are, looking for him, and you told Tessman that you had been sent here to look for him.
Did I?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I might as well tell you because it's bound to come out sooner or later. Hedda, I've left.
Really?
Yes, my husband had no idea I was coming here. I couldn't stand it there anymore. I would have been alone forever.
So?
I packed a few things and I walked away.
Without a word to anyone?
Yes, I just got on the train and I came into town.
Just like that. Well, that is very brave,
I
Teddy.
didn't even look back. I just hopped on the train and came right here.
What is your husband going to say when he gets back? Well, yes.
No, Hedda, I won't go back.
You've seriously left
There
him.
wasn't anything else I could do.
But you went in broad daylight.
How did I hide?
What will people say,
Say
Teddy?
whatever they like
did this relationship with Isla start?
Well, I don't know. It just sort of happened, you know, and little by little I seemed to have an effect on him.
An effect?
Yes, a kind of power, I suppose. And slowly he began to change his old habits. You know, I didn't ask him to. I would never do that, but he just saw that they upset me and he stopped.
So you saved him, Taya.
Well, that's what he says, but Hedda, in return, he's taught me to use my mind and start thinking.
So he was your teacher too?
Yes, and he talked to me about everything. And then, Hedda, then he wanted me to help him with his work.
So you helped him?
Yes, he wanted me to write with him. Me!
As friends?
Yes. Friends. Collaborators, that's what he used to call us. I could be so happy. But I just don't know that it will last.
Well, why are you so unsure?
Because, well, there's someone standing in the way between Isla and me.
Who?
A woman. Someone he can't forget.
What did he say about her?
He just said that he wished she had shot him like she threatened to. What?
So, Taya,
Yes.
people don't do things like that. That sounds like some cheap novel.
No, but there is this red-headed singer, and people say she carries a loaded gun, and it must be her.
Red-headed singers and shadowy women with guns.
No, but she's in town, and so is he.
This will stay.
Yes.
Well, I just left out a message so everything is set.
Oh, great. Mrs. Elstead was about to leave. I'll walk into the door.
May I presume I'm not too early?
Apparently so.
You're welcome anytime, Judge. Do you know each other, Judge Brock, Miss Rusing?
Ah, a pleasure.
Daylight, Brock.
I see it occasionally.
It suits you.
Thank you.
And Hedda, isn't she looking well?
Desmond, please. The judge isn't interested.
But I am.
Oh, well, my friend is eager to leave. But I'll be back before you know it. Au revoir.
So, does she like everything?
Thank you enough for all your help. It's wonderful.
She's happy.
Absolutely. You know there are one or two little things that... Thank you, Bertha. Please sit make yourself at home.
You know, we probably should.
Talk money while she's away.
Oh, no. Let's not get bogged down in the money. It's just one thing, though. Don't go getting into any more debt just yet.
You sound like my aunt.
Well, I look at it and I can't help but think. I wish for your sake we could have done all of this a little cheaper.
Stanford, I couldn't have possibly asked her to live in some suburban rabbit house.
That's the problem with women, Tessman. If they're worth it, they'll cost it.
Is there any news from the university?
Nothing firm. Look, Tessman, Lofborg is back.
That phone call was just for him.
You knew?
Hedda's friend told us.
And who's she?
Taya Rusing, married to the Commissioner Elveston.
That's where Lofborg was working, wasn't
He
he?
seems to think he'd straightened himself out, thank God.
By all accounts.
And he's published again, made a bit of a splash.
Oh! You know all my news. That's the book.
First edition.
I thought we'd want to keep up with things.
Have you read it?
Have a look.
Is it good?
A man can write, certainly.
Hedda's friend, Miss Rusing, is quite worried about Isla in town with all the money and the advance of the next printing. With his drinking, he was always, well, God knows what he'll do if he blows all his money on alcohol and whatnot.
Money. You missed your calling, dear. You should have been an accountant.
Hedda, we're talking about Isla's troubles. He squandered his inheritance. He can't write a book a year. I mean, how would he live? This university.
His family have influence.
Saved his own fate.
Who?
Isla Lofborg.
Ah, yes. He is very popular today, isn't he?
Talk of the town.
Brock, this
Couldn't be. Yes, there may be competition for the position now.
Competition.
it's just not fair. It's just so not fair. I'm a married man. I'm a doctor. I've got this debt and this whole thing with my next work. I mean, nobody is dealing with the Brabant domestic crash in medieval history. I mean, it's a completely open field.
Astonishing.
You're bound to get the position with your stability and your credentials, but be aware that the post is open to the best contenders, and Lofborg will. I'm sorry, he will.
It's not fair. I'm a married man, and we went into this whole thing without Juliana.
You'll be fine.
The best man will win, dearest.
How can you be so... We can't. We're going to have to. Hedda, I didn't mean to.
Talk to him tonight.
Tonight.
Yes, we invited him over. Very sportingly, it turns out.
But tonight's my party test. You said you'd be there.
Yes, of course I will. If he comes, I'm sure he will too. We'll just be quick. Hedda, I'm really not in the mood.
Should be at my party testament. A couple of the deans will be there.
Of course I will.
Come by later this afternoon.
Exactly do that. I mean, I'll need to publish again pretty soon.
Well, goodbye, Judge. It was great seeing you.
Well, if you're going,
I'll see you. You have to forgive me. I'm a little bit overwhelmed.
you'll be fine, George.
I know. I have every confidence.
So, I suppose the butler is out of the question, and the horse.
Ridiculous to have been so.
Ridiculous.
Look at us in this house, Hedda. I'm sorry. I was hoping you could be the mistress of a glittering salon, but it's just running before we can walk. We'll have to knuckle down a little bit. The house expenses to a minimum. I will get the position, Hedda. Don't you worry. I will. Until then, I'll put the covers back with the furniture. I will get the position, Hedda. Don't worry. I will.
Yes, you will, because you always get what you want.
Thank you for being so understanding.
Well, at least there's one last thing to amuse me.
And what will you do?
Shoot.
You're a kitten. What will you shoot?
Bottles, birds, neighborhood cats.
You're very brave.
Well, I'm a general's daughter. I'm going to shoot you, Judge!
No, don't aim that!
Oh, I'm sorry! Did I hit you? Please! I'll teach you to enter houses through the back door, Judge. Please! Oh, all right, Judge. Come in.
Do you mind?
Oh.
Look, let's not have any more of that kind of fun today, shall we?
Well, what else am I to do with myself then? There's nowhere more isolating in the middle of someone else's life.
What? No one's been by?
Well, aren't they all in the country somewhere?
Ah, these. We remember you, don't we? There we go. Tucked away in your little case.
They were made especially for Daddy.
So, where's Tesman?
At the aunts? Well, he said you wouldn't be here till later.
Well, if I'd known that, I would have come a little earlier.
Then you would have had to play with yourself, because I was in the bath.
We could have found a little chink to chat through.
Well, haven't you arranged for that already?
Plenty of time.
Isn't there? Forever and ever.
In sickness and in health.
Let's chat.
Ah. May I?
May I? Well, I was first.
It's wonderful to see you.
And I'm glad to be back. No, I'm just glad the honeymoon is over.
Tiring?
Well, it's that thing, just the two of us, all day, every day, that same other person.
Morning, noon, and night on tap, huh?
Well, that's the contract, Brock, isn't it?
Really? I thought you were having the time of your life.
You have no idea.
Well, that's what Tesman wrote in all of his letters. Having the time of our lives.
Tesman is an academic. And when academics say that they're having the time of their lives, they mean something completely different from the rest of us.
But surely love conquers all.
Love. Don't use that overrated word with me. Love is how people sweeten obligation. It is a lie. And when I was obliged to wait around in hotel rooms while he fumbled around in libraries, then it was my obligation to listen to the history of Brabant and domestic improvements and blah, blah, blah.
There are worse obligations.
Sickness and health.
Richer or poorer.
Till death do us part.
Ah, men. So, married life is not for Hedda Gabler.
I didn't say that. It's just a surprise, that's all, how total it is. But I had danced myself out, Judge. I am done with dances and flirtations. My time was up. Anyway, I would have thought George Tesman to be a good catch.
Certainly.
I haven't found anything odd about him at all.
God forbid.
And he's a terribly hard worker.
Industrious, his aunts think the world of him.
He has prospects, Brock. Ambition, at any rate. And I feel that his commitment to me sharpens that for him. And in that way, we're good for each other. He wants me to live properly, and I spur him on to more.
It's a match made in heaven.
It is a match made on earth, and I will not pretend otherwise. But it is a match, and a damn sight more than my countless admirers ever offered.
Well, I can't answer for the others. But as for myself, out of my deep respect for the institution of marriage, I avoid it.
Well, I never had any hopes for you.
I make a better friend, a confidant. That is the service I offer.
To the man in the house.
Ooh. Preferably not. But the man in the house must not be alienated. It is a triangular relationship that I find works best.
I could have done with someone else some days. You know, a friend.
Fortunately for you, your honeymoon is now over.
Oh, no. This is going to be a very, very long ride. We're just at the first stop along the way.
Why don't you step down and stretch your legs?
No, I would never do that.
Never.
Never. There's always someone around.
Who's looking at one's legs?
Exactly.
It's not so bad, is it? A bit of fresh air?
No, but I remain where I am, steadfast if nothing else.
But what if someone steps in, drops by?
That could be different.
It's your compartment as long as you trust them.
As long as they're lively, entertaining, like a cool breeze.
And not a whiff of learning.
Maybe so.
Now the triangle is complete.
And the train goes on.
It's so muggy out there. I've sweated through my coat. Oh, Judge. Berta didn't say.
He snuck in.
Oh, the back way.
Like a common criminal.
Hedda. Can I offer you anything, Judge?
Your wife has been a charm.
What is in your... More books?
Oh, I have to
know, with what's come out in the field while we've been gone. How's the work?
In the field?
Academic stuff, Hedda. Position papers, essays, it's an industry.
Do you really need more journals, Teddy?
We never have too many journals. I have to know what the competition is doing. All the advances is an avalanche.
That's probably true.
No idea, but I couldn't manage to put down either of Lilborg's new book. It's very well argued and so interesting. As you say, Judge, the man can write. Have you read any of Lilborg's work, Hedda?
No.
So what do you think as an academic?
Clear-headed, thoughtful. I mean, he never wrote like that before. I just want to drop these off when I study, and I change my clothes too. We don't have to leave right this minute, do we, Judge?
Oh, no, there's no rush.
Great, then I'll take my time. By the way, Aunt Juliana will be coming by this evening.
Was it the purse?
No, don't be ridiculous. It's Aunt Irina. She's very sick.
Isn't she always?
Well, today was very bad. It's getting much worse.
So be it.
She did want me to say, however, how great she thought you looked with a little weight on.
Oh, Christ, these perpetual aunts.
What's that?
Nothing.
All right.
So what's this business with the purse you offended Aunt Juliana?
Apparently not. This morning, she put her old purse down in my window seat, and I pretended that I thought it was the maid's.
How could you do that?
I know, something just comes over me and I can't stop myself. It just happens.
You're unhappy.
Yes. But no. Well, why should I be happy in the first place?
You have a lovely house, your dream house.
Oh, come on.
The only one in
You
town.
don't believe that, do you?
Well, that's what Tessman said. What, is this all his idea?
Last summer, he was always following me home after various outings.
I heard. Unfortunately, I was elsewhere last summer.
By all accounts, Judge, you were everywhere last summer.
Tut, miss.
Well?
It's your summer we're talking about.
God, there's nothing to tell. Well, imagine these long, uncomfortable summer evening walks home, which I couldn't get out of. He's tenacious, my husband. So we always ended up here. And I felt so sorry for him, twisting his hat in his sticky hands, desperate for something to talk about. So I said that I thought this was the most beautiful house in town. It just popped out. Sadly, it turns out, George had actually thought that his entire life. Every time we passed it, it became this one thing that we had in common. Soon enough, we were standing at the gates for what felt like ages at a time. Just talk, I thought. But for George, they were plans. It was the only place I could possibly live. I was like some princess locked in his fairy tale. Soon he was proposing, offering me the house, the honeymoon, and then the world ready-made.
So do you like it at all?
No. Well, it's fine, but no.
Well, what about the inside? It's all yours.
The furnishings are good, of course, but there's this smell. I just hope it's some concoction of his witch aunt.
I hate to disappoint you. I ate here a few times with the folks. This house is an olfactory monument to the late Mrs. F.
No, it's this dead smell, like rotten flowers. Oh, Christ. I'm going to go crazy here.
You know what you need? You need something, a hobby, something to keep you occupied.
Just great. The judge has passed sentence.
What do you propose? To let yourself go? To what purpose, Hedda? Soon life becomes a chore.
I had thought that... No, it's probably silly.
Try me.
I had thought that maybe I could get Tessman into politics.
Politics? Tessman? In Brabant 400 years ago, maybe. Let's see. Nope, he's got zero aptitude for politics.
He's very good at it. He's manipulative.
What would he stand for? Who would vote for him? What possible satisfaction could you get from that?
I just get so bored, and then my mind wanders. So you really don't think I could get Tessman to run for office?
Hedda, Aside every other consideration, every other single consideration, to be a politician, well, you have to have money behind you, and though you don't have any more of that.
That's it, isn't it? This cheapness, this penny-pinching little world that I've ended up in, that is what makes life so ridiculous, so absolutely ludicrous, because that's what it is.
No, you know what? It's something else with you.
Oh, here we go.
The world has never had to say no.
What do you know?
You've never had to fight for anything.
Oh, a little adversity.
Something important to you?
You don't know that.
Soon, maybe.
Are you talking about that nonsense about the professorship? Well, that's his business. It has nothing to do with me.
Oh, no. But say something happened, something serious that makes, so, I don't know, grown-up demands on you.
Shut up. That will not happen.
Let's see what you're saying in 6 months' time.
No, that is not for me. Claims and responsibilities. No, that is not my calling.
Every woman hears the call.
Oh, shut up, will you? Do you want to know what I hear?
Yes.
My calling, the sound of my own endless voice droning on and on till the end, roaring and boring the life out of me. That is what I hear all day. You changed.
I'm reading that book. Have we heard from him?
No.
He's probably just going to show up now.
Do you think so?
Well, I told him the time. I mean, we might have to give him a little bit.
Of course.
He's not going to go. He's a teetotaler now, reformed. Taya Elmstead assured me.
Shall we have a little something before the party?
What time is it?
We have plenty of time. People should be at my place till 7 or 7:30.
Great, then we can keep Hedda company in the meantime and see what happens, right?
And if worst comes to worst, Mr. Lubborg can sit and chat with me.
What do you mean, if worst comes to worst?
Well, he doesn't want to go with you and Tessman.
Hedda, would that be appropriate?
Mrs. Elmstead will be here, and we'll all have a cup of tea.
Oh, that'll be fine.
It's probably the best thing for him.
Why?
Mrs. Tessman, haven't you always said that my bachelor parties are only for men of the highest moral character?
Yes, and now that Lubborg is reformed, he fits right into that category.
Of course he does.
Ma'am, there's a gentleman here.
Well, send him in.
Oh, it's got to be him. Amazing. Eilert.
George, thank you for the invitation. Mrs. Tessman.
It's wonderful to see you, Mr. Lubborg. I'm not sure you two...
Oh, Judge Roth, yes.
It's been a long time. Moving back to town, I hear.
You know, I haven't finished your lecture.
No, don't bother. There's nothing in it.
Being well received.
Well, that's the point. I wrote a book that's pitched precisely to the general public. No one could possibly disagree with
Yes,
this.
but why would you?
Oh, to win back my reputation, so I may start again.
Really? Here in town?
Yes. But this, George Tessman, this I would recommend you read. This I poured my soul into.
Similar field.
A continuation?
Developing your broader historical concepts.
No. Applying them to the future.
Future, but that's just speculation.
So, I think I proved my point fairly conclusively in the other work. But there are patterns and rhythms in history. See, let me show you what I mean.
That's not your writing.
Oh, I had secretary help. It's in two distinct sections. In the first, I apply my historical theory to current reality and uncover the forces at work that are generating the future. In the second, I will discuss the booms and terrible problems we will face arising from that. I've reconceived history. It's part of us, organic because we are. It moves with us and we pass it between us. We are animals as we are bound to this planet, so it too has a growth and energy. All that we do is bound.
I can't wait.
I can read some tonight after dinner.
Well, the judge and I have a prior engagement, so tonight,
You're more than welcome to join us, though, Lubborg.
Yes.
No, there'll be time later.
otherwise no book.
Oh, but you could read it to some of us. This promises to be quite a high-powered event. I should explain myself, Mr. Lubborg. This party at my place this evening is, well, mostly in honor of Tessa.
Oh, well, in that case,
Join us.
No, thank you.
Oh, come on!
Leave poor Mr. Lubborg alone, Brock. He just doesn't want to. And I'm sure he'd much rather stay here and have supper with me.
With you?
And Mrs. Elstead?
Oh, Mrs. Elstead. I ran into her this afternoon.
Oh, really? Well, then you have to stay, otherwise there will be no one to take her home.
Oh, I will.
Of course. Well, I'll go tell the maid.
Either this new thesis, this stuff about the future and everything, are you planning to lecture on it?
Yes, I am.
Well, you said in the bookshops that you were preparing to give some lectures this fall.
Yes, I'd like to. Is there a problem with that?
No, I'm no.
I'm not interested in the professorship, George.
Professorship?
These arbitrary academic divisions between the humanities and the sciences, the past and the future, I'm not interested in them. Society as an evolving whole, now that's the task at hand.
So, you're not going to?
No.
Well, I have to say thank you. Did you hear that, Hedda? Ireland is not interested in an academic career.
No. I didn't say that. See, you may be the professor of history, but I will be dean of a department devoted entirely to this new discipline. No, I'm not going to compete with you for a job, Tessman. I only want to win over you, to be more respected and more admired in the eyes of the world. See, the meaning of this book will change the academic landscape forever.
How about that? What do you have to say about all this, Judge? All our worry is over. I mean, what do you have to say about all this?
Oh, I think fame, in whatever form, can be rather alluring.
Yes, of course it can.
You look like you've just been hit by lightning.
Yes, it's just about what it feels like.
Well, there's some rum punch for anyone who wants it.
A toast!
Great idea, little boy.
No.
God, man, it's only punch. It's not poisonous.
Not for you.
I'll keep Mr. Lufork company in the meantime.
Good idea, Hedda. Judge.
So, Mr. Lufork, would you like to see some photographs of our trip? Testament and I bought a wonderful new camera. We came home through the Tyrol. It was very dramatic. Do you see these mountains here, Mr. Lufork? The Ortler Alps. And Testament has labeled all of them meticulously, as you can see. Here we go, the Ortler Alps near Iran.
Hedda Gabler. Hedda Gabler.
Yes, that used to be my name when we first knew each other.
And now I must learn how not to call you Hedda Gabler.
Yes, better start practicing. The sooner you get used to it, the better.
Hedda Gabler married? And George Tessman?
So it goes.
Oh, Hedda, how could you throw yourself away like that?
This is not the time for this.
What do you mean?
Hedda.
And this, Mr. Lufork, is the view from the Impezzo Valley.
Hedda, I was just thinking, should I bring in some punch
Yes.
for you at least? A cigarette?
No, thank you.
All right.
Answer me, Hedda. Hedda, how could you do such a thing?
You keep on saying, Hedda, I won't talk to you at all.
Can't I say your name even when we're alone?
No. You can think it, but you can't say it.
I see. Out of respect for your love of George Tessman.
Love, don't be ridiculous.
So you don't love him?
I will not be unfaithful to him.
Hedda, just tell me one thing.
Here we go. Goody.
Well, why are you waiting on us?
I'd like to serve you, Hedda.
Oh, Mr. Lufork doesn't want a glass.
Mrs. Elfstead will be here soon.
Oh, yes.
Had you forgotten she was coming?
No, we were just so caught up in this. Do you remember this little village?
Oh, yes, that was the night we...
We met that young German couple.
Oh, you should have been there afterwards.
I need you to answer me one thing, Hedda.
Yes.
Did you love me? Even a little bit?
We were good friends. We had no secrets, and...
Well, you wanted to know everything.
and no one knew. It was thrilling, exciting, and brave.
It was, wasn't it? When I came to visit your father in the afternoons and he'd sit by the window with his back to us reading a newspaper oblivious.
While we sat on the sofa in the corner.
Reading a magazine. Always the same issue.
And now it's snapshots.
I could tell you anything, Hedda. My hopes, my dreams, my fantasies. Things that nobody knew. Things that raged inside of me. My drinking. Those long-lost weekends or stretches of time where I degraded myself in any way I could. And you wouldn't judge, you were...
Judge? Judge what? It was fantastic to me.
There was a power in you.
A power in me?
Yes. I don't know how else to explain the connection between the two of us. Between my soul and yours.
Now that I look back on it, there was something thrillingly exciting about it all, a secret aspect, a friendship no one knew anything about.
Wasn't that love? When I confessed, didn't you want to absolve me, to wash me clean of my sins?
No, not really.
Then what?
Do you really find it so difficult to understand that a young girl, in secret, could take the opportunity to look into a world that she wasn't supposed to know anything about?
Was that all it was?
Partly. Mostly, I think.
Well, if you didn't love me, we were still friends, weren't we? Why couldn't that have lasted?
That was your fault.
You broke it off!
And it was threatening to become something else. But why did you force yourself on me? I was your friend, however bold I may have been.
Why didn't you shoot me when you said you were going to?
I was afraid of scandal.
You coward.
Probably. When it comes to that. But lucky for you, I'd say. Now you can just go console yourself up at the Elfsteads.
So Taya has told you?
Well, have you told her about us?
No. She would never understand. She's too stupid.
Stupid?
In that, to understand the darker side of me, people.
And I'm a coward. I want to tell you something.
Yes?
Not shooting you that night, well, not having the courage to shoot you, that wasn't the most cowardly thing I did that night.
Hedda, now I can see why you wanted to know all of those things. You were like me. You wanted to really live.
Careful, there's no point in thinking that way. Taya! I'm so happy to see you.
Should I say a quick hello to your husband?
No, don't be silly. They're about to leave anyway.
Oh, they're going out.
Out in the town.
You're not going.
No.
Taya, come sit next to me. I want to be in the middle. Islet, isn't she just lovely to look at?
Yes. We're true friends who can sit together and talk honestly.
You know, I'm so happy, Hedda. Just think, Angell says that I have inspired him.
Really? Yes, he said that.
She has the courage of her convictions to fight for her friends.
Courage. Yes, if only one had that.
Then what?
Then life would be very different. Speaking of courage, Taya, would you like some punch?
No, thank you. I never drink alcohol.
And how about you, Mr. Lundborg?
I never drink either.
He doesn't.
Even if I wanted you to?
It wouldn't make any difference.
Oh, poor me. Am I powerless over you?
In that respect.
Seriously, Mr. Lundborg, you should have a drink for your own sake.
Hedda.
Or rather, for other people's sake.
And why is that?
It's about strength and courage, isn't it? People worry that the teetotaler lives in fear. Is an accident waiting to happen that deep down you don't trust yourself?
People can think whatever they like. I couldn't care less.
That's right.
I saw it so clearly in Judge Brock just now. That look of contempt when you didn't dare join him for a drink.
What? What do you mean I didn't dare join him?
Well, isn't that how he obviously understood it?
Fine. Let him.
So you're seriously not going?
I'm staying here with you and Taya.
That's right, Hedda. Do you see?
Yes. Yes, I see. Strong as a rock. True to your word. Exactly how a man should be. Well, it's like what I told you this morning when you arrived in such a state.
What?
Well, you can see for yourself now. There's no reason to be terrified for him. I'm sure he
What's
can
this
handle.
all about?
God, Hedda, how could you?
Awful judge can see us.
Terrified for
No,
him?
Eilert.
So much for trusting
No,
me.
Eilert, please.
Here's to you, Taya.
Oh, God, Hedda, you wanted this to happen.
And to you, Mrs. Tessman. Thanks for the truth. Long live the truth.
Don't, Eilert. Remember, you're going out.
No,
Pull
no.
yourself together.
Tell me the truth, Taya.
Eilert.
Eilert, please.
Please what, Mrs. Tessman?
Anyone would think it mattered, but it doesn't really matter.
Does your husband know you followed me
Eilert.
here? Did you and the commissioner decide that you should spy on me? Was this his idea? Did he miss me in the office, or did he need another hand to play
Eilert,
poker?
don't.
Here's to the help of the county commission.
Eilert, don't. Remember, you're going out and you're going to read your book to Testament, so...
I shouldn't have done this. How stupid of me to react like that. I apologize, Taya. Please don't be angry with me. I'll be fine. I'll be fine, all thanks to you.
Well, thank God.
We ought to be moving on.
I might join you.
Please do.
Yes, bring your manuscript.
I will.
This promises to be oodles of fun.
Oh, well, you know what I just thought? Taya, Mrs. Elf said, how will we get you home?
We'll think of something.
I can come back. I won't stay long. I don't need to. Would around 10 suit you, Mrs. Tessman?
Certainly, anytime.
I'll wait for you.
Yes, I'll be back soon, Taya. I just...
Well, gentlemen,
Well, I just wish I could slip into your pocket, Judge Brock,
why so?
so I could spy in on you fellows, in your element away from all the politeness.
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't advise that. What do you think, George?
Hedda, you are something. The things you come up with.
Well, good night, ladies.
Around 10.
Still aboard.
Good night.
Hedda, what will happen?
He'll come back at 10 o'clock like Bacchus with vine leaves in his hair, wild and heady and confident.
Yes, well, I hope he will be confident.
He'll be his own man. He'll have found his freedom again.
God willing.
He'll be his own man. And you can doubt him all you like. I have faith in him and I'll prove it.
Hedda, what do you want from this?
For once in my life, I want to see what it's like to have control over a man's
But you
life.
already do.
No, I don't.
Well, not your husband's.
Him, yes. But that is nothing compared to what you have. Well, I think I'll burn your hair off after all.
You frighten me.
Supper's ready in the dining room.
We're coming. No, I really should be
Well, don't
going.
be stupid. I want you to stay here and play with me. Well, because that's what best friends do, isn't it? Then we'll have supper, and at 10 o'clock, Eilert will be here with vine leaves in his hair to kiss it all.
case.
Until 4 o'clock.
Yes, I waited so long.
We really shouldn't have bothered.
Were you actually able to sleep?
Yes, fine. Why, couldn't you?
No. I couldn't, Hedda. I just
But don't worry. I know what's happened.
What? Tell me.
Tessman didn't want to stumble home drunk, afraid that he'd be caught.
So where would he go?
Well, to his auntie's, of course. After all, they have his old room ready and waiting for him, fresh sheets and flowers. Or he could have stayed with the judges. And Isla is still there reading to them.
Hedda, you can't believe that.
Do you know how silly you are? Do you, Taya?
Yes, I know, it's true.
And you look dead tired.
I feel dead tired.
Then go lie down in my room.
No, I can't. Your husband should be back any minute, and I want to know what happened.
I will wake you the moment he comes back. You promise? Yes, I promise. Now go lie down.
All right, thank you.
Berta? Will you put some wood on the fire, please?
Of course, ma'am.
What are you still doing up?
What? Morning already? Imagine.
Why are you still up?
Yes.
I was sure you'd be asleep.
Well, not. And Taya Elfstead is asleep in my bed.
Taya? Hedda, what?
Well, no one came to pick her up.
I suppose not.
And I'm cold.
I'll fix it.
So, did you have a fun night last night?
Were you worried about me, Hedda?
No, not at all. I'm just asking if you had fun.
I suppose so. Mostly at first, they tend to drag on nights like that, but first I would have read. We were alone in the library and I would have read from his manuscript.
Really?
This new one of his, you wouldn't imagine, but when he publishes, it's possibly one of the most important books ever written.
Will it have
I'm
pictures?
serious. And I have to confess, when he was reading it, when I read it, I won't lie to you, but when I I was listening to it, I was filled with envy. I envied Ida Lovefork that he could write such a thing. It's awful, Hedda, can you imagine?
Yes, I can.
And to take kind of delight in, he has
His courage.
It's a real problem, Hedda. There's no way of stopping himself.
Why, did something happen?
Positively bacchanalian, Hedda.
Did he wear vine leaves in his hair?
Vine leaves, After dinner, Eiler went on and on, delivering this incoherent diatribe on society and the need for women and how women help in his work or something.
Did he say who she was?
No, but it has to be Mrs. Ibsen.
Uh-huh. So, where did you leave him?
The party finally broke up. Brock was walking with us. He needed some air. We all did. And we wanted to make sure Eiler got home safely because he was so smashed, absolutely blind drunk,
Right, I can picture it.
And this is strange, or sad, really, I suppose.
For God's sakes,
I'm ashamed to say for Eiler that I fell behind, and we'd all had a lot to drink, and the walking from Brock, so it was just there, in the gutter.
What
And
was?
you can't tell anyone until you...
Yes, I
can't.
promise you, George, but what? You took this from me?
It's the whole thing, the whole manuscript. He's lucky I stumbled on it. It's just there. It was just there on the road. Don't you see how bad that is?
Well, why didn't you give it back to him?
I couldn't. The shame of it, the embarrassment for him, and the state he was in. He probably would have accused me of robbery or hit me for just shaming him. I mean, no one can ever know.
So no one else knows you have it?
No, certainly not. Don't you see how bad that is for him?
Did he get home all right?
I suppose so. Some of the others said they would make sure of it. A few of us stopped for coffee close to home. On the way back, once he slept it off, I'll take this.
No, let me have it, just so I can read it.
Hedda,
Can't. Why?
Because he'd be furious. He'll be incredibly hungover when he wakes up, and when he realizes it's gone, it's the only copy he has.
Please.
No.
Well. Yes?
It was Miss Tesman on the phone. But Georgie, I mean Dr. Tesman. It's your Auntie Rena, Miss Tesman. She thinks if you want to see her, that you have to go today because she doesn't think there's a lot of time. I'm so sorry.
We've been expecting this.
If we won't. We've got to hurry.
No, not me. I've been up all night. I can't take sickness on top of everything else.
I understand, but I just hope I'm not too late.
The judge is here. He knows it's
Oh,
early.
God, I can't see him right now. I don't want to be rude.
I'll see the judge. That would be better. Barry, you can send him.
I will take that.
No, I will keep it until you get back. Our secret. Now go. Well, your visits are getting earlier and earlier, Judge. Perhaps you should move in.
I like to wake in my own bed. Where was Tessman rushing off to?
His Aunt Rena is very sick.
I'm sorry. Does he need a ride?
No.
I hope it's nothing too.
No. It's on your way home.
You see, I haven't changed.
You too. You boys had a fun night last night.
Yes. What did Tessman tell you about our wild party?
Just some tedious stuff about drinking coffee somewhere.
Yes, the coffee party, but without Ivan.
Well, they had taken him home.
Tessman had.
No, a few of the others, he said.
Sometimes late at night, men are not as principled as they'd like to be during the day.
Why, something happened?
You might say that.
Well, now I'm really curious.
Do you know where he and a couple of the other gentlemen ended up late last night?
No.
We ended up at Miss Diana's.
Miss Diana. Is she a redhead?
Flaming.
And a singer?
Everyone is a singer after 4 in the morning, Hedda, my sweet. The whole thing turned bad. It started well, a rather touching reunion between Wilborg and Miss Diana. Enthusiastic chatter with her and her various associates. We all settled down when suddenly he turned. He was so drunk, quickly a riot of screams and accusations about missing possessions and wallets and finally stolen souls. Yes, it got down to a bizarre screaming match about Diana stealing his soul. Before we knew it, he had her by the arm. She fell, her dress tore, things were thrown. He had her up, kept shaking her, insisting she give it back, his soul, I presume. In the end, it was just sad. But we had to get out of there before the police arrived.
Well, what happened to Island?
Last I heard, he resisted arrest, screaming himself blue in the face.
So no fine news.
Sorry? Anyway, I thought I should warn you.
Warn me?
Well, it would come out that he had been at my place.
And you think there will be trouble?
Something, definitely. Testament will be all right. The coffee party have an impeccable alibi. So do the rest of us, hopefully, but we should all lie low.
Why? How?
I strongly suspect he'll try to use you as cover.
And what makes you think that?
Oh no, Hedda, we're not blind. You think Mrs. Elstead is just going to drift back to the country, back to the commissioner?
Yes, but even assuming that there was something between them, there are many other places where they could meet.
Oh no. From now on, not one respectable home will be open to them. All the doors will be closed.
And you think mine should be too? Is that what you're saying?
If I found out you welcomed that man here, I'd be very deeply upset if I find out he was intruding
into the triangle. I see.
Like losing a home.
I see. You want to be the only cock in the yard.
That's right.
You're serious. But of course. And unless I am mistaken, I am a free agent. I was here all night, innocent bird that I am. And as far as I can tell, I can do what I want.
Of course, but you should be more prudent in your decisions nonetheless.
Are you threatening me?
Far from it. The triangle should be a matter of mutual consent.
Because I can do what I want, and that is never going to change. Oh, you are a very dangerous man.
Am I? Well, I've come here and said what I needed to say. I better go.
Sneaking off again through the garden?
It's a shortcut.
The back door.
Sometimes the back door can be the most exciting.
Like when someone's firing pistols through it, perhaps?
Oh, I don't think anyone would shoot a tame rooster.
Never. Especially if it's the only one we've got.
Get out of my way!
It's okay, Bertha. Well, little boy, you are a little late for Thea.
Or a little early for you. Forgive me.
How do you know she's here?
They told me at her hotel that she'd been out all night.
Uh-huh.
Is Testament up yet?
No.
Did he tell you anything?
That you had a very interesting night at the jungle.
Anything else?
No, I don't think so. I was happy.
I thought I heard you.
Too late.
What?
Everything. I'm finished.
No, don't say
You'd say it yourself if you knew what
I
happened.
don't want to.
I'll go.
No, you'll stay.
It doesn't matter. Look, we can forget whatever happened.
You don't know what I have to say. We're finished.
Finished.
I don't need you anymore.
But I can still help you. We can still work together like we did before. Our work.
I'm not going to work anymore.
And what will I do?
Just go. Live your life, forget me.
How? No, I can't.
Take a try. Go back home.
No. You cannot just drag me away like this. Where you are is where I want to be, and I have a right to be with you when the book comes out. It's our book.
Damn, the book can never come out!
It's ready, and they will certainly publish it. Man, they will. That's all that they need. What?
The manuscript? Dana, please don't ask me about that. Just go.
No, I have a right to know.
Well then, manuscript. I ripped it into 1,000 pieces. I ripped it into 1,000 pieces, and then I threw it in the ocean. And then I just watched it drift out to sea. And soon it will sink deeper and deeper, Taya. Just like me.
I will That was ours. That was ours. I mean, you might have just killed our child.
Yes! I killed our child. Exactly. I just... like a child.
So what? So it's just over then? No. I'll go now, Hedda.
Home?
I don't know. The future's just blank.
So you're not going to walk?
Whether she's never seen with me again. I'm done. Her help, her hope, her faith, it was also... something's broken in me. She has broken something in me. My defiance, my anger. And when it's not her, I still have to live with all of this.
So she's had her stupid fingers in your fate.
I can tell you, Hedda,
Me?
but you can never tell her.
Yes, I promise.
I never looked it up.
Where is it then?
She said it was like I killed our child. But that's not the worst thing a father can do.
No.
No. That's almost heroic, or it can be. Abraham was ordered to kill Isaac. But what about a father who stumbles home to the mother of his child after a night of drinking? Totally out of control, buried in the mud of his indulgence, and says, "Listen, I've been on this amazing binge, and I took our child with me. And I've lost her. Just lost our child somewhere along the way, and who knows where the hell she is or whose head she's fallen into. Sorry? I'm sorry."
It's a book. A book.
Thea's soul was in that book.
Yes.
So it's over between us. And over for me.
What will you do?
Something quick, I hope, or I'll just drink myself to death if I'm so... or too...
Islet, listen to me. Do it beautifully.
Beautifully? With vine leaves in my hair the way you used to dream
No,
about...
I don't believe in any of that anymore. But do it beautifully all the same. Just this once, yours at least to choose. You have to go now, Islet. And don't come back.
Give my love to George Chessman.
Wait. I want to give you something. Something to remember you by.
That? Is that my souvenir?
Well, don't you recognize it? I aimed it at you once.
You should have used it.
You use it.
Thank you.
Do it beautifully, Islet. Promise me.
Goodbye, Hedda Gabler.
I'm burning your child, Taya. You, with your gorgeous hair. I'm burning the child that you had with him. I'm burning your child. I burnt it.
What?
All of it.
What?
I burnt it all up.
Burnt it? Burnt it all? Eilert manuscript. Shh!
Don't shout, the maid will hear.
No, burnt it.
Well, that's what I did.
Yeah, but that's against the law. That's theft and probably some kind of larceny. I mean, ask the judge, he'll tell you.
I don't think that we'll be asking the judge. I don't think that we'll be seeking legal advice on this. I think that we'll keep it to ourselves.
But how could you do something like that? How could you think of it and think to do something so illegal and unspeakable? Hedda, tell me.
I did it for you, George.
How?
Well, you came home and you told me that he read his book to you.
Yes.
And you told me that you were jealous of him.
God, I didn't mean it literally.
Well, it doesn't matter. Because I couldn't stand the thought of someone being better than you.
true? Is that really true? I mean, I never knew you loved me like that.
Well, you better realize it now. Ask your aunt. I'm sure she can spell it out for you.
I'm not sure I understand what you were saying. Oh, God, it's not possible, no.
Don't shout at me.
Oh, the maid Berta, I'll tell her myself.
It's killing me, all this.
Oh, this
stupid absurdity, George.
Is it absurd that I'm so happy? You called me George. Why did you be so happy, so
that
happy?
I burnt Ilo's masterpiece?
No, of course not. No one must know. No one must ever know. I can't get over it. You did it for me. Only Auntie Juju knew you did it for me. I mean, do you think all young wives in your state are like this?
Why didn't you ask your Aunt Juju?
Poor dear Island. I mean, it's terrible to think.
Hedda, I'm so sorry to come back.
Taya, something happened.
Is it Island?
Yes, I'm afraid something's happened to him.
Well, what makes you think that?
When I went to his room, there were people talking about him. I mean, there were rumors going around about him.
I heard that.
And what did they say?
They stopped talking as soon as they saw me.
I'm sure you heard promises, Elsa. I'm sure it was.
No, it was him. I know it was him. I heard something about a hospital.
Hospital?
Yes, I mean, something must have happened.
Let's hope you misunderstood, Mrs. Elsa. Perhaps if I go over
No,
and
you stay out of this. Judge again?
I need to talk to you. Mrs. Elstead. Perhaps you already know that. George, my condolences.
Is there something else?
Another tragedy, Judge?
I don't know what you've all heard.
It's something about Island.
Listen, we have got to get to the bottom of this. Poor Taya is almost catatonic. What has Island Blue done?
Borg's been taken to the hospital. He doesn't have long.
What? Oh my God, I have to see. He thinks I hate him. I have to see
It
him.
won't do any good, Mrs. Elstead. They won't let anyone see
Well,
you.
what
Some
happened?
kind of accident.
No, I don't think so.
But he wouldn't.
I'm sure he did. And what?
Unfortunately, Mrs. Tessman, yes, he did.
His own hand.
Shot himself.
Correct.
When did this happen?
This afternoon.
Where?
Well, his room, I suppose.
No, Judge, that's gossip. I was there and there was no one
There's
there.
somewhere else then. All I know is that they found him. He shot himself through the heart.
Oh, what a terrible way to die.
Through the heart.
That's what I said.
Not the head.
The heart, Mrs. Tessman.
Well, I suppose the heart is good too.
Mrs. Tessman.
How do you know all this?
I talked to one of the policemen.
Thank God.
Head of what?
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
How can you call it beautiful?
Island Borg settled upon his own terms. He had the courage to do what had to be done, and to me, that is beautiful.
How can you? Where is the beauty in such a savage act? No. He did it because he was sick.
He was desperate.
No, he wasn't. I know he
Yes,
wasn't.
he was. That's why he burnt his manuscript.
He burned his manuscript.
Yes, last night.
That's all.
If only I'd been there in time. If I'd been quicker, then I
No,
could
it's not your fault.
I have his notes. I thought he had these, and maybe we could put it back together or something.
You kept them?
Yes, of course. It's stupid he used to dictate these to me, but I thought maybe together we could salvage something.
Well, I mean, it's all here. Shade is here.
I just wish there was still some way to put it back together.
Yes, I'd give anything in the world for that.
It could be done.
How?
Well, you're the expert. It was very intricately structured. I mean, we spent a lot of time, but I have all of the
Yes, you do.
They're all here. I mean,
Well,
they're not in any order.
If we could put them in order, do you think if we helped each
Yes,
other...
well, we could at least
Well, it's
try.
not impossible with this much to go.
Tessman, you can't be serious.
Hedda, my work can wait for a moment. I owe this to Eilert and his reputation. This was a man who... Hedda, you know why I must do this? All right, Mrs. Elstead, do you think we can put our heads together and sort through all this?
Yes, I'll
All
try.
right, let's piece together the notes, and that'll give us a broad outline.
All right.
That'll give us subject headings, and then we'll slowly reassemble it. Excuse us, Judge. Hedda, Taya, bring the notes back here.
Well, This whole thing with Eilert is a real release.
A release? For him, I suppose.
No, I mean for me. A release to know that something can be done, that a person can do something of their own volition. That is beautiful.
Beautiful.
Oh, if you can't see the beauty, you're more conventional than I thought.
What I can see is that Eilert Lovborg meant more to you than you care to admit even to yourself.
I have no interest in your observations, Brock.
Here it is.
Oh, that's something, yes.
Eilert had the courage to live life his own way and to die as he chose when he was ready.
I hate to disappoint you, Hedda.
What?
That's not the way it went. You'll find out soon enough.
Tell me.
He didn't shoot himself on purpose. He may not have even shot himself.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Things are a lot messier than I first inferred.
Messier?
I didn't want to upset Mrs. Elstead.
What?
First of all, he's already dead.
He died at the hospital?
Dead on arrival, I think is the expression.
What else did you leave out?
He didn't die in his room either.
Well, I don't see how that is.
Eilert Lovborg was shot in Miss Diana's bedroom.
No. No, you're wrong. He wouldn't
He
have gone
did.
that
He went
way.
back to get whatever it was he lost there this morning. He wasn't calling it his soul this time either. He was accusing her of stealing a child. Now, I've been trying to make sense of this stolen soul and kidnapped child imagery myself. I thought he was talking about his manuscript, you know, in poetic terms. But, you say he destroyed that himself.
Yes, that's what he
So
said.
it must be his wallet with this lost child of his.
It must be.
Oh, Taya, you have to look at this.
So, they found him in Miss Diana's?
With a gun in his breast pocket.
Shot himself in the chest.
Lower. The wound was lower.
Everything was so dirty and petty and little. Everything I touched turns vulgar.
It gets positively sordid. The pistol, Hedda, it must have been stolen.
Stolen. Well,
There's
that's...
so much here. Hedda, the light is so bad in here. There's so much to work with. Can we work in here?
Yes, that's fine. I'll just clear some
Okay.
space.
Oh, don't bother, please.
I'll put this into the other room. So, how's the memorial coming? It's just...
Very hard.
We have to do it, and it's what I put together with people's work.
Why does it have to be stolen?
Because any other explanation would cause a lot of trouble, Mrs. Test.
How so?
Eilert Lovborg was here this morning, wasn't he?
Yes, but you haven't
Were you
answered my
alone with
question.
him?
Briefly a little.
Did you leave him alone in this room?
No.
Really?
Briefly, perhaps.
That'll do.
Well, have you got it?
It's evidence. The police will keep it and trace it and try to find out where and how he got it.
And will they find that out?
Not from me, necessarily.
Yes, but you haven't answered my question. Why does it have to be stolen? What if the owner of the pistol knew Lovborg had it? So what would come of that?
Then, Hedda, the whole town will turn out, talking and staring and lining up at the gates of your lovely house to get a glimpse of this mysterious other woman in this sordid little triangle.
That's just...
And this is before the trial starts. You would be subpoenaed. It would be your word versus Mrs. Diana's on the stand. Did she take the gun from him and shoot him in self-defense? So did he go over there to shoot her at her insistence? Or did it go off in his clumsy rush as he stupidly pulled it from his pocket? Oh, there are countless stories to gossip over. The town will be talking for years.
And how am I tied up in this repulsive little story all of a sudden?
I saw the gun, Hedda. He didn't steal it, someone gave it to him. And if someone gave it to him, who and why? And what does that make you?
What are you saying?
I'm the only one who knows, and I have no real reason to tell the police now, do I? Hedda?
You were involved this morning at the beginning.
I have a strong
I can do what I want.
Of course. Of course. But the law can be sticky.
So no, I'd rather die.
Oh, we say these things, but do we ever really mean them? Eventually, one stops railing against the inevitable and embraces it.
Perhaps it's time to embrace it. Well, how's the project coming, George?
It's too early to say. There's months of work here.
How amazing. Isn't it strange strange, Taya, how you're sitting here with Tessman just the same way you used to sit with Eilert.
Yes, well, if only I could inspire your husband the same way.
Oh, I'm sure you will in time.
You know, Hedda, I'm really beginning to get a feeling of the sort, just working with the notes. Teo really knew what he was striving for, and it's pretty interesting stuff.
Is there anything I can do?
Oh, no, I hate to do this to both of you, but Judge, do you mind keeping Hedda company while we work?
It'll be a pleasure.
No, I'm tired. I'll just go into the other room for a little while and sit down.
That's right, Hedda, just relax.
Oh, here.
100 days, 100 nights.
What did you do?
100 days, 100.
Think of Aunt Selena and Eilert too.
And Aunt Juju. And everyone else. But don't worry. I'll be very quiet from now on. I promise you.
Make her very happy seeing us do all this awful work. I mean, perhaps if you move in with Aunt Juliana, I can come over on evenings and we can work on this there.
Yes, that might be best.
I can hear you making plans without any Tessman. But what will I do in the evening?
I'm sure the judge will come to keep you company.
Every single evening. We'll have a ball.
You can only hope, Judge, can't you? Yes. You would love that, wouldn't you, Judge Brock? To be the cock of the walk.
Here it is. This is my talking.
Yes. There she goes, playing with her damn pistols again. Please, not tonight, Hedda. Can we just relax a little bit? Taya, I am so sorry. Hedda, what on earth are you doing? She shot herself. She shot herself in the head.
Oh my God.
I can't believe it.
Good God, people don't do such things.